G'day YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to make a start on the Golf GTI timing belt kit. So I actually bought SKF timing belt kit along with the water pump. So I'll get that done hopefully next couple of days, and then just before I finish that job I will then get on to the sump. So that'll be a nice addition to refreshing the car. So yeah, I'll start with, well, I'm starting now actually. I'm draining the coolant, and for the Golf owners, they actually over-engineered this a little bit and they put a tap on the bottom radiator hose. You know, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, pull it back and it just drops down. So really good addition. Bora owners, bad luck. Jetta owners, don't know if you've got it, but yeah, you can just pull the radiator hose, I suppose. But yeah, so all the timing belt stuff is on this side, so I'm going to start by just removing all the stuff that's not needed. Like I've removed the emissions stuff hose. There's a coolant hose that goes to this res. I'm going to unplug this, move that elsewhere as well. I'm probably going to lose some water meth, but I'm going to undo the water meth hose and maybe just tie it up somewhere so it doesn't lose a lot of fluid. Gonna unbolt the power steering res, unbolt the engine mount and spacer, and the bracket that goes through the block. And I think I'll leave that there. But if I remove these, I'll get some access there to be able to remove the side cover and timing belt and all that stuff. Then, because I've got modded intercooler piping, I have to remove the wheel, which I'll do now, to get to all the piping below, so that I can get to the timing belt stuff. Because I have to get to that, which is the crank pulley, and actually I might be able to just get it done with the intercooler pipe still there because the engine is raised. So we'll see how we go anyway. I'm going to remove this wheel while I'm waiting for the coolant to blow out and go from there. I've already cracked it before I jacked it up, so just gonna put that on. Right, so grab the wheel and put it down and come back. Oh, some more water just dropped down. The thought process here is to, well, I've loosened up the two bolts that were holding this together. I'm going to loosen up this bottom hose, and I think I'm going to loosen up that hose that goes to the water res, and maybe even that one, to just move it all out of the way. Yeah, so I'll get that out of the way. The fuel stuff, I think I'm going to leave that, that's okay. I'm going to need a hex Allen bolt for that to remove, and I'm going to take a guess, but it's probably that one. That looks like the right size, and no, it isn't. It is not. So it's going to be the next one up. 4mm, 6mm. Yep. That's the right one. So just undo that. Alrighty, so I got the hoses out of the way, coolant res out of the way, undid the hoses, so now I've got clear line of sight to the engine mount, but I won't do that yet. I'll start taking off the accessories belt by using a 17, I think. 17. Whack a 17 on this little knob, and then just undo the tension to take the belt off. So this is a two-hand job. Take the belt off that way, and then you can get to possibly more things. So I'll do that now. Alrighty, so I wasn't going to do anything with this accessory belt, but on closer inspection it looks like it's had better days. Starting to wear and crack, so I'm going to get a new one, order it in and replace that as well. So this will go in the bin like my other 1.8 turbo 1.8T engine that I just kind of like stripped down the head to see what was wrong. So I'll do another video on that, but yeah, so I got the accessories belt off, and now I can get the before I take the crank pulley off, I'm going to set it to top dead center and make sure that the if I can take this off, that'll be lovely, the timing marks line up with the valve cover. There's also, if I can find my torch, where's my torch gone? There it is. I think up there, if I'm not mistaken, some timing marks up there as well, but I can't see anything. There it is. That's the timing that you need to match up with the mark that's on top of the oh, looks like I need, do I need an extension? I think I do. Alrighty, so there is a timing mark on the, oh, I can't get this plastic cover off. Anyway, there's a timing mark on this valve gear that matches up with this timing mark, and if I may have a look at the timing mark down here, that should match up as well. Can't see anything, but it should match up. Right, so that's confirmed. I'm now going to start removing the what I might do is grab a jack to support the sump. Alright, I had to bring out this bad boy breaker bar to get the what's it gonna call it, to break the engine mount off the block. So that's now free. We can take that out for more space. Oh, I don't know if that's still good or not. I just love it. Open up a can of worms each time. And there's my spacer from Creation Motorsports. So sits on like something like that, I think. Anyway, so we now have space to get to that over there. I believe there's a bolt there. Now, poor thing. And I believe there's a bolt on this side as well. There's one in here. A little different size. Alright, new day. So, a little bit tricky here, but I managed to get the engine mount bracket out. It was impossible to get it up above on the top, so I jacked the car up a little bit more using another jack and some bricks, and then I got it out, like I finessed it out, turning it a bit, pushing this hose in, took the intercooler hose off to give it more flex, and then it slowly came out underneath, and then I smashed it on the ground out of anger, but no, I didn't do that. But yeah, I got it out and cracked all of the bolts for the crankshaft pulley, or the crank pulley, sorry, and now I can get the pulley off. Now I did move it out off timing a little bit, so what I'll do is I'll put it back to timing. Right, a little bit more because that is supposed to match up with that, so it's about 2's off. Right. I could probably go a bit more. There you go. So, heaps of access now. I'm going to try and what am I going to do here? I'm going to buzz all of the buzz all of the crank pulley bolts off, and then pull the pulley off, and I'll have access to the other engine covers or the timing belt covers. So do that now. I don't need this here anymore, only to adjust the timing if I need to, but they're all cracked. I've got a bunch of extensions. I've got that to hold it down. Because it was on so tight, I had to get a cheater bar onto the ratchet, and then I just position myself in a way where I could break it using my shoulders and my arm, and while holding the sprocket or holding the bolt in place. So I don't know, got to be creative sometimes, but it's done now, and yeah, it's loose. So I'll buzz them off now. Right, buzzed it all off, and looks like it's original Audi stuff in here, which is interesting. Not really sure how new or old this belt is, but a bit questionable. Don't know how old the water pump is either, but it's a good time to do it all. Now, to get the tension off, I'm going to have to get to that hex bolt, which is pretty easy. I don't know if this is the one. Probably not. Nope. Probably one of these. It's not handy to have one of these. Nope. Sorry. Oh, shades for that. And yeah. I did the timing belt without marking any belts, and you know, I watched all these YouTube videos where he tells you to mark the belt and tooth and all that. But honestly, I did my Audi A4 timing belt, and I didn't have to do any of that stuff, so I don't think I'm going to need to. So I'm going to undo the tension, and loosen the belt. So cheetah bar this one again as well, because gosh, the torque is crazy. And that should loosen up everything around the timing belt. So I think up to this point it's pretty easy and pretty straightforward. That's the old tensioner. Alright. Be careful not to move the timing belt. Right, so I managed to get the bolt off the water pump. When I take it out, I'll show you where it is. There's 3, and I think all you need to do now is grab a screwdriver, maybe, if I can find it. God, I wish I had an oversized one, but I don't. But I need to make a trip to Super Cheap. Came off with these. Right, well, that's it there. Pretty new. It's not bad actually, this one. Right, so this is in good shape, but you never know until you remove it. Yeah, I think in terms of that's looking clean. Just need to get the tensioner off, really. So looks like I'm leaking a bit of oil back here, which I'm gonna investigate where it's coming from. Might be old. Gonna spray that all down while I'm off. The tensioner is off, and I'm looking, and it's still in time. So now I just gotta pop the auxiliaries back on. Water pump. Gonna find out where I can get a tensioner from, and attach the new belt. So that should be, the timing stuff should be done pretty easily. Yep. And then the fun stuff will begin. This is the worst bit, worst culprit. I might give these all a clean while it's out there, but yeah, it's coming along. Put that back there. Let's run out. I'll do a trip to get some more brake cleaner, I think. Yeah, clean it all down. Right you are. So I got the water pump installed. 1, 2 and 3rd bolt is down here. You just got to feel it, and make sure you pop some coolant around the seals before you reinstall it so it doesn't pinch. And then just yeah, do it slowly. Go around, tighten it up, you know, tighten a little bit at the bottom, and then top, and then side, top, bottom, side. Just keep doing it until it gets pushed in evenly, and then you can torque it up to spec. So yeah, that there looks good. I've just cleaned up the side of the block from when the valve cover was leaking, so that looks cleaner than it was before. Yeah, what else? Don't know what else we can do there. I need the hydraulic tensioner put back on so that I can place the the tensioner and the roller on. I think the roller's for that. Right? Are they expecting me to reuse this? Yeah, I don't know. Finally, we've received the gates tensioner. It's not exactly OEM, but it's OEM replacement. All I can say is finally. Been waiting for this for a long time, and yeah, now we can finally do the belt and yeah, install this. Gonna have to turn on my trusty old light. So tension is going to sit. Oh, where's my hand? Tension is going to sit there where the old tension is, and I've cleaned it all up, so it's nice and clean. Used all of the admittedly I used all of the brake cleaner for it. Now I've got to run to the shops on the weekend. Super cheap auto, which is equivalent to AutoZone in America or Advanced Auto in Canada. Just one of those auto shops that is available in abundance. So got that on. I've torqued it down. That's sitting flush. There's 2 bolts, one there and one behind. Like this is the old one. So there's one down there and one just behind on the side, and it sits like that, mounting to 2 holes there. So that part is done. Just a basic tool to torque it down. And now we're going to do possibly either the belt and then the tensioner, or tension and belt. We'll see how it goes first. Alright guys, I've tried going from the top and trying to thread the belt in through to the bottom without the hydraulic tensioner, and trying to get it on is just a complete it's shambles. So I've seen another way of doing it. You start from the bottom and then pull the belt up to put it on. So I'm going to try it that way, and yeah, go from there. Right, after some struggles, I've got it on now. Yeah man, that took way longer than I anticipated, because I've done some work to the A4 and that was way easier than this. So I've got it on loosely. Now it's just tightening up the tensioners. So I'll tighten this mechanical tensioner first. Yeah, so what I did was I couldn't get it from the bottom up, so I went from the bottom top down. Make sure it's nice and tight on this side, bit of slack on this side. Install the 2 tensioners, starting with the mechanical round one. Make sure that that's, and this thing here, pushing that up so that the tensioner, the hydraulic tensioner, pushes up against it for later on is imperative as well. So tighten that button down, and yeah, like that. That tension is on, and now using a 10mm, going back in and do the same thing essentially. Tighten up, all of the, and these aren't even that strong, so it's like 10 to 20 Newton meters of torque for the little hydraulic tensioner bolts. I think there's 2 and one up here. So let me just do these up first and come back. Alright, I just spun it 2 revolutions, and it's still met up with the line that have the 2 timing marks up here and the timing marks down there. So yeah, I'm going to pull the hydraulic tensioner pin for gates. We might have a different version for the official version, but that's going to push up against that. Yeah, it's going to be super tight, so I'll do another 2 revolutions. So all I am is getting a 19 end of the wrench and just spinning this bad boy like that, all the while checking to see if it meets the line. So I'm going to do it again, and if it meets up with the timing marks, then we can go on to putting back all the covers for it. There's the A4. I'll be listing it for sale soon, only because when I finish this I'll go back to using this, and I kind of want to buy another project car to fix and maybe flip it. Yeah, I don't know, let me know what you think. Any comments? Let's get on to putting the covers back on. Give this a bit of a wash, I think. It's a bit filthy, so let's give this a spray down with degreaser, and where's my brush? And just brush it down with this. See how we go. Alrighty, so got the cover back on. Starting from the bottom, don't forget these 2 bolts, they share the bolts with the top and bottom cover. And now I'm going to put the pulley back on. I'll give this a wash too. Man, it looks in a shitty condition, so I'll give it a wash and put it back on. Torque it down using these bolts. I'm sure I'm going to have to use one of these over large. Yep. Gonna have to use this 6mm along with a bunch of other stuff. So I'll do that now, wash that, pop that back on, and maybe call it a night. I really can't be asked feeding that from the bottom, hoping it stays there, drag its ass back up again while dropping the engine down and feeding it in somehow. It's going to be a bit of a mission, so I'll leave that for tomorrow, I think. Guys, that's pretty much all there is to this timing belt saga. Just to recap, engine mount has to come off, the engine mount support bracket has to come off. That's the worst thing that ever happened to this whole saga, this whole project. Once you get that out somehow, whether it's from the top, I've seen people, the magicians, they get it out from the top by just wiggling, their fingers a little bit. That's bullshit. Didn't work for me. Maybe I just don't have the Midas touch there, but I lifted up the engine as far as it could go and then just dropped that fucking thing down there. I had to remove, obviously you have to remove the boost pipe, so you're going to have to get to the 2 10mm supporting the boost pipe to the block, the Jubilee, some more 10mm up there. Take the boost pipe, take that C clip off, and you're left with this to work with. Get the engine mount out. I couldn't get the car, couldn't get it up above, so once you do that, harmonic balancer comes off, the cover comes off. That's the harmonic balancer is 6mm and 19mm nut bolts, 10mm cover. Take that off, get the tensioner off before you can get the belt off, and then you can get the rest of the other tensioner and water pump and all that stuff off. So yeah, look, it's not hard if you had space. It's just hard given in this circumstance, that's all. Now I'm gonna have to put the engine mount back in somehow, so yeah, wish me luck. Jack the engine up, pop the engine mount bracket on that side for the time being, and then got this in bit first that way. So yeah, it just got in easier than I thought. So now big bracket or big bolt goes back into this piece. The other bolts are in the other side there, so just thought I'd share that. That bastard of a pointy bit that comes first from that side, and you sort of like have to angle it in like that while swearing. Gotta swear, and when that happens, yeah, it'll just come through. Reverse all of the steps now and have fun. Alright, bit of an update. It's been a couple of days, but I've actually had to take the tensioner off because it was the wrong one. So this is standard. That's the standard one. The one that I got appears to be for an Audi A4 180T. So still a 180T, still very similar. However, don't get caught up like I did. Make sure it's the one that has the hydraulic tensioner on one side, not halfway through the groove. So where I came unstuck was when I tried to put the engine mount back on. It was hitting the side of the hydraulic tensioner instead of having all this space to clear. So none of the bolts were lining up. So I've contacted eBay, and we're going to do a return and get the proper gates tensioner for it. So luckily eBay has returned, and it just means another week of waiting, so that's going to suck. And turbo's back out again as well, because I need to get the proper bracket for it. I don't want it to be sitting on the manifold, because that's a one-way ticket for it to crack. So either I just make something myself that mimics this kind of thing, like it probably needs an extra bit of length there, and the oil return line, that's too short as well, so I need that to be extended. I'm going to get another hose for that from Mike. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, that's it for the time being. I'm stuck again waiting for parts. Probably one of the most the most painful thing you can go through, just waiting for parts. Just can't wait to drive this thing again with the K04 and a decent tune on it. So I've got 3 files from Tuning Techniques, and hopefully, the first file is like bass, low boost, just to get it going and make sure everything's running okay. Then check the airflow or air fuel ratio mixture. If that's all good throughout the rev range, jack up the boost. If it's still good, jack up the boost again. And if it's still good, chuck a spring mod on it and see where it goes. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys go through withdrawal symptoms when you're not driving your weekend project car? Like, this has been off the road for what, 2.5, almost 3 weeks now, and yeah, it's just painful. I mean, I'm still driving the A4 around, which is way better than driving anything else as a daily. That's still okay to drive. Daily basis, it's 6-speed, 180T, bit of tune. But this, when you get on it, it's a monster. Like, it just becomes a complete different character. And you have the Recaro seats, Recaro interior. You have the R32 dash, all the whole package. I just miss it. Don't know about you guys, but I'm missing the GTI. I can't wait to get it back on the road again. Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm just gonna guess wait for the part and see where it's at.